Hey everybody, this is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, March the 9th. Hey, big happenings downtown Gadsden this week off George Wallace Drive at the venue near Coosa Landing. The Alabama Fishing Show and Expo. Bucks Island will be there. In booth 39, we'll have a bass cat, a skeeter, and a falcon boat on display. Salespeople there to help you there. And we're going to have tackle all over the place, deals, steals, information. Got anglers coming in there. Tracy Robinson's going to spend some time with us. Come see us at the show Friday 10 to 7:30, Saturday 10 to 7, and then Sunday 10 to 5 at the Expo. Well, right now we're going to tune into what the guys have to say and maybe put a few more fish in your boat. We'll be right back with what our anglers have to say. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, March the 9th. Hey, we're joined with a guest host today, a guest fill-in person. We got Andrew Johnson, who's a big-time stick around here, fished the Coosa River Team Trail this last week. Andrew, 26 pounds at Logan Martin at the Coosa River Team Trail down there. What was going on that lake right now?
Well, 26 pounds was a good bag. It's a lot better than I come up with, but it's Logan Martin right now. It's March. Them fish are going to start moving up, start hitting top water. Largemouth should be piling up in some areas along with them spots. I'm sure them piers probably can catch the fish off some piers with a chatterbait. And if you can find some stacked up in a creek somewhere in a turn or something, it'd be a good bag for you.
So Logan Martin tends to, this time of the year, that you got red clay banks, you got other things that fish kind of tend to congregate on when the water gets warm. What was the water temperature down there this last week, and did you find them on that kind of stuff, or did you have to look hardcover?
We caught some what we caught off a hardcover, just going down the bank. Just never really got a good bite. We caught a few fish off some piers and tried to catch some fish on top water that morning. Didn't really work out for us, but I'm sure some guys caught some on top water. But if you find some shallow cover, them largemouth should be moving up shallow cover right now.
Has the water temperature reached into that upper 50s yet, or is it still kind of cool?
It's on its way. It was about mid-50s this weekend, so it'll be moving up this week with the warm nights. So it'll definitely be getting better.
So yeah, nothing can do anything but improve there. All right, Lay Lake. What do you expect's going down at Lay Lake? I know there's current going through the system with all these storms. Are those fish going to be into the creeks yet, or are they still kind of holding on timber? What do you think?
I think there's some fish still holding up, but there'll be some fish moving up, and be able to catch some fish in some grass if you can find the right stuff. There'll definitely be some fish moving in some grass.
So you think flipping a jig and that kind of stuff around that grass, is it dead grass or is it starting to bloom yet?
It'd be dead grass still.
What about a finesse bite? Are you seeing any of that stuff being effective yet?
Yeah, with the current going still, I mean them spots out there, you'll still be able to catch some fish, finesse fishing, and you probably catch some spots schooled up down there at Lay Lake also. Find some current breaks and stuff like that. You definitely should be able to catch some fish really easy.
That's cool, man. Hey, we appreciate everything. Hope to see you this week at the Alabama Fishing Show and Expo. Maybe you stop by one day if you're not fishing. One of the best fishermen around, folks, Andrew Johnson. Hopefully you'll see him at the show this week, too.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, March the 9th. Hey, we're joined by Tom Ott, who's going to join us at the Alabama Expo this week. Booth number 39, come see Tom, talk Mercury outboards and fishing stuff. He'll be there. We see you're putting them in the boat. We know there's some big weights caught. What's happening on Guntersville right now?
It's just wide open right now. I mean, it's perfect. The weather, the water clarity's right. I think the only thing that's really affecting the fish right now is probably TVA. They're pulling the water way low. It's going to definitely move some of those fish around. I think a lot of those fish some of the big fish are really trying to make that push right to the bank. And that first break too. That 4 or 5 foot break. There's a lot of fish sitting out there. I still say, rattle trap, chatterbait are really catching the best fish, or at least the numbers of fish for us. We were throwing an A-rig a lot last year. It's so interesting the way year to year things change. Last year was a big A-rig time. The fish were really out on humps and things like that. This year that kind of seemed like they're starting to move to those humps, but along the bank areas, small little ditches, doolollies, things like that have been money. They're not all loaded, but once you run into one, you have a good spot for sure.
Okay, so is it big fish get caught? You see that kind of stuff going on. You see a result like you guys with 24, 25 pounds. Is that an all-day thing, or are you grinding to catch those 5 bites, or how's it going?
Yeah, I think we caught the majority of our big fish early. I think we had 3 big fish early, and then we put a small limit together, and it just got really dead. So that was first thing in the morning. We had a big fog delay, so that kind of kept the sun down. I think if the sun had come out, it would have really turned on and got hot. But we had to really move around to find those fish, and then to come in with 25 pounds or right at 25 pounds and then have a couple of youngsters come in with 30 is, that scoping thing is, I guess we were hoping too much and not scoping enough. But I mean, those guys, that's a way to catch them right now. I mean, the prettiest fish I've ever seen on the lake. The fish we were catching were dark and they've been beat up a little bit, but there's just so much cotton picking bait out there. I've never seen the size or as much shad as I've seen here. That seems to be the ticket, not only for the scopers, but also for those guys that are coming up there and starting to fish around the banks, islands, anything that's got some depth change. I talked to some guys yesterday. Even a foot of depth change or 8 inches could be considered a ditch.
Tom, as always, brother, we appreciate it. We will talk to you again next week.
All right, guys, y'all have a good one. Be safe out there. Good luck to the East Limestone fishing team this weekend on Guntersville.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island area fishing report for Saturday, March the 9th. Hey, we're joined by Lee Pitts, who's going to join us at the Alabama Fishing Show and Expo. He's going to be spending some time in the Bucks Island booth, as well as the Fish Neely Henry Lake booth, Greater Gadsden. Come talk fishing with him, but right now he's going to tell you how to put a few more fish in the boat. Let's start at Weiss Lake right now. Lee, what's happening up there?
Weiss is starting to pick up a little bit. We're seeing a lot of fish and graphing a whole lot of fish. It just depends on what time of day it is. You can see these fish until they start coming up off that bottom, they really don't want to feed. You can put anything you want to on them, but once they start coming up, the long line trolling has been working real good for us. They're still deep. We're pulling 16ths and 8s and things like that to get that bait on down there deep where these fish are. Blue chartreuse has been real good, Junebug chartreuse, and of course anything like I said, the darker colors, maybe with a little hot pink tail on it, something like that, has been real good for our crappie right now. It's just getting around some fish that want to eat.
All right, well, tell me what's going on in the bass bite up there. Last week it seemed like it was a little bit spotty.
And you nailed it right there. It's it's still the deal where you've got a handful of guys that are getting 2 or 3 of the bites that they're really looking for, getting a big bite, and then managing to get out a 5 fish limit. We're still looking at last weekend again here at Weiss. We had 3 stringers over 18 pounds. So it's your typical springtime deal. A lot of guys are catching a lot of fish. They're catching some good quality fish, maybe not tournament quality, but catching 12, 13 pounds. But these guys that are catching the 18, 19, 20 pounds, they're getting up there tight trying to find these largemouth. Chatterbait has been real good, square bill.
All right, let's turn our attention to Neely Henry. We know the current's going through there. The bottom end's a little low. What's happening over at Neely?
Neely's the same deal. It's just one of those things. Still fishing the same as it was last week. You're trying to find those little edges and some of the current breaks, looking for that hard bottom. Some of the largemouth are starting to kind of get up there tight where you can get to them, and throwing a chatterbait, pitching a jig, something like that. Even a little square bill still now has been pretty productive on Neely.
Yeah, and it sounds like the crappie bite's doing okay. Some of they're starting to move in a little bit around some of those docks. Lee, man, we look forward to seeing you this week at the venue there in Gadsden. Always one of my favorite parts of a show. We'll talk to you next week, brother.
All right, guys. We'll see you this weekend at the venue.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island area fishing report for Saturday, March the 9th. Hey, while we're up here at the venue in Gadsden, right there on George Wallace Drive at the Alabama Fishing Show and Expo, Gentry's going to be fishing out there, down there in that lower Alabama range. Gentry, what's going on at Lake Martin these days?
I'm out here right now, Dano. We got the ABT this weekend, and I'm spotted bass are everywhere. You'll probably see 200 and something limits. But I'm up shallow in the back of some of these creeks trying to find the largemouth bite. It's kind of eluded me for a while, but just trying to find the trees and standing up on the trolling motor, see if you can see a bed, because water temperature 62. They should be pushing up there pretty quick.
Seems like that's the perfect kind of conditions. I haven't looked at the moon phase, but that's kind of what they're looking for, is warm water that's not falling on them. You're having to move around, catch a few small fish to get good limits and everything like that. I know Jordan Lake is one of those things that can be a little different. What's happening over there right now? What are you hearing out of there?
The spotted bass up there, to me, I think they bed a lot deeper. I've seen them on the bed up there, in shallow in the years past, but I think to get a limit, you need to square bill and chatterbait down the bank, work your way back into some of the cuts. Once you do that, if you can get a good limit, of course, spotted bass will win up there at any given time. But me, I'm going to look for the largemouth after that, flip the grass, the trash piles up under the dock, and, look for that 5 or 6 pound largemouth.
How many of those are you going to come across, do you think? Is it something you can find a limit of, or you're going to get 3 or 4 spots and maybe try to get 1 or 2 largemouth?
Yeah, get your limit of spots first, if you can, at the canal and something like that. If you could drop down on them, the water's going to be a little muddy with this rain. But if you can get you a good limit, you might find 2 or 3 largemouths, especially with the water warming up. If you hold a wacky rig around some of those good docks in the back, you're liable to get a big bite at any time.
Have you started using your forward-facing sonar, maybe perspective mode or any of that kind of stuff, to look up under those docks and see what you can find?
Yeah, and actually up here at Martin, I've caught a lot of fish doing that. I'll be sitting in 10 foot of water and look out in front of the floating dock, and you'll see 1 or 2 out there, and you can throw a wacky rig or a fluke or something over there, and they'll come up and eat it. They're just, they're 1.25 pounds, 1.5 pounds. They're fun, but it ain't going to work for this weekend.
Well, Gentry, have good luck over there. We always make us proud, but make us prouder, and we'll be happy for you. Thanks, brother. We'll talk to you again next week.
Yes, sir. Y'all take care.
Well, that'll do it for our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for this week. Thanks to the guys for everything that they do. Don't forget to come see us at the venue. The shop is still open. Go see everybody over there, whether you're looking for that new boat, sales, service, parts, or Jamie's upstairs in the loft with some things that you might need if you didn't want to go over to the venue. But come see us at the venue, the Alabama Fishing Show and Expo. It's going to be fun.